So I used to work at a candy store, and at this candy store I actually didn't deal with a lot of customers that would rude to me. It was actually very rare if a customer would like yell at me or something. It's retail, it's bound to happen. So the first time I ever had to deal with a rude customer is when this lady came in with her daughter. And a little backstory, I worked at this candy store for almost 3 years. And after so many people kept coming in asking for free samples and then just walking out the door, I personally made a rule that if I was working, nobody gets samples. But that's just me though. So this mom and her daughter come in and she's looking around and everything and she asks for a sample. And in the politest way that I can, I say, "Oh, I'm sorry ma'am, we don't give out samples anymore." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And she just keeps going. So she wanders around, looks, picks out some candy, comes to the register. We do the transaction, and just as I'm about to tell her, "Oh, have a great day," she tells, "You need to stop being a asshole." I literally didn't know what to say. What? I'm telling you guys, I didn't do anything. I was so sweet. I would never do anything to make a customer mad, like not intentionally. But this lady is just, she said, "When I see your manager, I'm gonna tell her how rude you are." She just storms out. What she didn't know is that my manager was actually in the back. So I take a pause and I actually go to her and I'm just like, "I don't know what just happened." So that lady never said anything. She never came back, and I think that she got really offended that I didn't want to give her a sample. It's just candy. You bought some anyway. What does it matter? That was the first time someone ever yelled at me. But it gets better. That was just the mom. It gets really good when the kids get involved. So I had a mom, her friend, and their kids come in. And they're looking around, whatever. And there's one huge rule that nobody is allowed to do at this store, and it's to use their hands to grab the candy. Very simple rule. This kid would not only grab the candy with his hands, but he would try to go like elbow deep. So of course I'm panicking, but I actually didn't have to tell the kid to stop because the mom would actually always say, "Hey, don't do that. Hey, don't do that. Don't touch it." So, I left them alone because clearly she had it handled. But when they were at a specific spot, she kept talking to her friend, and her kid, again, is like going elbow deep into this thing. So I come in, I'm like, "Oh, honey, don't do that." And I grab his arm to take it out, and then she yells at me, and she's like, "Don't grab my son." I was like, "I did not grab your son. I just didn't want him to touch the candy." She's like, "Yes, you did. I'll handle it." So I avoid her for the rest of the time she's here. I let my coworker handle her. I was just done. Kids, man, they're something else. I also had a time with kids stealing. It was very rare, but oh my god. So one day I had this big Irish family come in, or Scottish. They had an accent. It was one of those. So this big family comes in, and they have kids, and parents, grandparents, all of that. And they were actually pretty regular customers. They came in pretty often. So they came, they looked around, got some candy, and they left. And just as I think I'm just gonna go on with the rest of my night, the two girls come back, run inside, go to where the makeup stuff is, like little kid makeup, grab two things, and run out the door. Now, I panicked. I was pretty new at being supervisor, so I just ran out after them. Like, I ran out the store, left my associate by herself. I didn't say anything. I just ran, caught up to them. They were heading between two cars. And then the grandpa comes and say, "Hey, give that back." And then they give it back to me. And I go back to the store, and my associate's like, "What just happened?" I'm just like, "These two girls came in, took, ran, I go, got it back." Now, that's pretty much the gist of how bad things got, typically. But there was one night that got me so angry that it changed how I work from that day forward. Now, this was during the summer. The kids were just fresh out of school. It was probably like a couple, maybe like a week or two into summer vacation. And I was very new at the whole supervisor thing. So I was working the night shift, and it was pretty popping. It was pretty busy. My co-workers at the register handling a line of people, and I'm standing there watching, making sure nobody's touching stuff or stealing anything. And then these group of teenagers come in, and I just love dealing with teenagers. So these teenagers come in, they walk around, and I'm keeping my eyes alert. And he tries to grab a candy, and I'm like, hey, don't do that. And they're just like, yeah, okay, whatever. And they start to walk out. And I think that's the end of the problem. Oh no, I then get bombarded by about 20 to 30 teenagers, just all coming in here. And I'm the only one out here on the floor because it's only me and one other supervisor. And she's handling a lot of people. I'm an introvert. I don't really like talking to people, let alone telling people not to do something. So about 20 to 30 teenagers are in here, and I'm starting to panic. But I didn't want to seem like I assumed they're stealing, even though I did. So what I just did is I just walked around. If I saw them touching candy, I told them, please don't do that. They wouldn't listen. So I just kind of stood back, and I was just like, as long as they don't take anything, it's fine. So after a couple minutes of them just coming in here looking, they all leave. It goes real quiet, and I just, it was a breath of relief. I'm just like, cool, they're gone. A couple minutes goes by, and the two security guards come in with these 3 huge empty boxes of candy. Now, we have window displays right next to the door, and they're not protected by any wall like you'd see at like Forever 21 or something. It's just right there. So what ended up happening is, while my back was turned, these kids grabbed 3 huge boxes of candies and just dipped while I wasn't looking. And they brought me back the evidence, and I was so upset. I actually cried that day. It wasn't just because they stole from me. It was because I didn't know what was gonna happen. I was like, was I gonna get fired? Like, so many things were running through my head. That day changed me forever. I used to be so quiet. I barely told anybody to not do anything. But after that day, from that day forward, I did not tolerate anybody messing with me. I actually had one summer where I was known as that mean lady at the candy store. So just know that, if you make me cry, something's going down. But yeah, even like I said, not a lot of things went down. Usually anything that happened with customers, I could handle it. But that being said, it wasn't as bad as working at Forever 21. And that's a story for another day. So if you like this story, maybe you wanna, I don't know, like the video. I mean, you don't have to, but I mean, if you liked it, might as well let me know. And I plan to release another video talking about my adventures at Forever 21. And if you want to see that, well, maybe you want to subscribe so you know when it comes out. Again, you don't have to, I'm just saying. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.